Welcome to Balatro. Balatro is a poker rogue-lite in which you play poker hands to score the minimum amount of chips needed to defeat either the small blind, big blind, or a challenging boss blind. These blinds become progressively harder, so you'll need to get stronger too. Earn money by defeating a blind, and you'll get the option to upgrade your standard 52 card deck, upgrade specific poker hands, or, most importantly, get access to a selection from up to 150 joker cards that provide benefits and bonuses while playing. Will luck be on my side? In this run, I try out the green deck, which gives you an extra $1 for every hand that you have not played when you finish the blind, and you get also $1 for every discard you have remaining. However, you cannot earn any interest on the money that you have already stored. Interest is normally calculated as $1 for every 5 that you have in your bank whenever a blind ends. With this type of deck, it pays off to play a little bit more careful to save up as many hands and discards as you can. Also, holding on to a lot of money is not all that useful with a green deck. A little bit of cash can come in handy, just for tricky situations, but you're better off spending your cash in the shop. From the first shop, I decide to go for the Mystic Summit Joker, which gives you plus 15 mult if you have 0 discards remaining. A little bit anti-synergetic with the deck I'm running, the green deck, since I get extra money for my discards, but it's not terrible. The other Joker, the Bull Joker, is not a good option since I'm not saving up a lot of money. From a tarot pack, I create the Red Card Joker, which gives you extra mults when you skip a booster pack, which is quite money intensive. Because of the nature of the green deck, I'll try to play as many hands as I can, since that's the thing that will give me the most money. Skipping will only be useful if there is a very good reason to do so. This is me making progress. I am now reading my cards. And I realized that it's better for me to have 0 discards before playing this full house because of Mystic Summit. I decide to buy the Banana Joker, Gros Michel, and order it so it calculates its multiplier earlier. I then also buy an Arcana pack. From the Arcana pack, I choose to create 2 random planet cards in order to give me some direction of what type of hands I want to be playing, since none of my jokers really give me any specification which way to go there. Despite the Mystic Summit Joker not being active here because I have 3 discards remaining, the Banana Joker is active, which gives me a Knight 15 times mult, allowing me to one-shot this blind and get a nice bit of cash with 3 hands and 3 discards remaining. It's with this selection of jokers that I now get a better idea of what type of deck I want to be playing or which kinds of hands I want to be playing. Because one of these jokers allows me to make straights and flushes with just 4 cards instead of 5. And since my deck is still the standard 52 card deck with 13 in each suit, this will work just fine. So fine that I can build the rest of my deck around it and get really far in this run. I am trying to fish for a straight flush, which I already have in my hand since I have the joker that allows me to play straights with only 4 cards and flushes with only 4 cards, so I have here a royal flush in hand. The reason I keep fishing here is that the 10 of hearts could give me a 5 card straight, but it doesn't really matter since I only have to get to 800 chips. $5,000 points, very nice. I again got the Droll Joker, which improves your flush, which is a little bit more useful than it was in my last run. I also buy a Celestial pack and choose the flush card. There's also the option for a straight flush, but since my deck is still the standard deck without any improvements, I choose to go for the safer option here with the regular flush. I consider for a second to skip the run and get this Mega Celestial pack. However, I realize that I can get more money than the pack would be worth if I just play my hands. I'm not quite sure what I was going for here, since I could get a straight. I think I was trying to go for a straight flush, but I did not discard enough cards to improve my chances significantly. There's not really any useful jokers here in the shop, since one applies to empty joker slots, which I have none of, and one applies to 4 of a kind. So I instead decide to go for a standard pack and get an extra card. Now, I'm trying to go for a high card here. I don't really have one suit that jumps out. I have one extra club, but no other cards that I have more of. So I decide to just go for the queen, get a face card, try to get the quality of my deck to go up. And on a celestial pack, I also get lucky to find another flush card. On the boss blind, I am lucky enough to find a flush after just one discard, which nets me enough points to defeat the boss and get enough money with 3 hands and 2 discards remaining. Plus, my banana is still safe. Score! The jokers in this shop are not great, however the red card joker is also not doing anything for me. So I decide instead to grab a voucher that allows me to play one more hand each round and also get a celestial pack so I can get another planet card. Now this leaves one joker slot open, which can be filled up later, but the red card joker was not doing anything right now anyway. I choose the flush card instead of the straight flush card to play it a little bit safe for these early rounds when my deck is still pretty much a standard deck. I try a normal flush here to see what this hand will score me with my current jokers, and try to save as many hands and discards as I possibly can to get some extra cash. In the next shop, I go for a joker that allows me to get a little bit of extra cash. I can waste a hand this way and get $5 instead of the $2 I would get for a hand. And I also get a celestial pack for a straight and a tarot card that turns 3 of my cards into diamonds in order to get to the flush and straight flush a little easier. I'm trying to discard to get a straight flush here in clubs 2, 3, 4, 5, or perhaps an ace, but probably a flush would have done the job. However, I also remember just a little bit too late that I have the to-do list that could give me an extra $5 if I play a pair. Now, because at this point I threw away a pair and I have the straight flush in hand, I just play that and the round ends. There goes my banana joker. The crafty joker here in the shop will not scale very well in the long term, but at least for the next few rounds it will work quite well with my flush build. From the Celestial pack, I still go for the flush instead of the straight flush because it's still a safer option. From the Standard pack, I'm mainly looking for diamonds since that is the suit of which I have the most cards right now. Not a bad boss ante here. Must play 5 cards, which works with the flush build and straight build. I only have to keep an eye out that I don't play 4 card flushes and 4 card straights here. I'm fishing for the straight flush here, for which I need the jack of diamonds, but a flush will do just fine. It's this shop that gives me another very important joker for my build, namely the square joker. Together with the other joker that allows me to make straights and flushes with 4 cards, this will allow me to play 4 card straights and flushes, or straight flushes, every time, leveling up the square joker with each hand played. Although the ace of diamonds looks very good here, the 10, that is a wild card, will come in a little bit more handy for the rest of my build, since I'm focusing on getting straight flushes. The next pack has no spectacular options, no diamonds here, so I go for the seal that can give you a tarot card whenever you discard the card. A pretty lucky hand here, especially when I draw into the 8 of diamonds for a straight flush after only 2 discards. It doesn't get me there in one go, but I do have 2 more diamonds and draw into 3 more on the next draw. I play a 5 card flush here, although I could have played 4 to level up the square joker. I also buy a spectral pack and decide to level up the King of Diamonds to give me some extra points when it's used in a flush or straight flush. From a standard pack, I get another wild card here, the 10 of Hearts, that can be used in any suit to increase the probability on getting a straight. I play 2 pairs here in order to level up my square joker. Plus, I already had a planet card for the 2 pair, so it gives me a little bit of extra chips. Although I lose a little bit of cash here from the green deck by not playing my hands the most efficient, I do level up the square joker every time I play a 4 card hand. And that seems like a good plan for the future. Although here I could have played the 4 cards instead of 5, which was not my best decision. From a tarot pack, I choose the Hanged Man to destroy 2 of my cards. Now I would have preferred to destroy Spades, since that is the suit that I have the least amount of cards of, but I think it's a good idea to destroy some cards since my deck is getting a little bit too fat with 58 cards. That gives me less chance to get a flush or a straight flush, so destroying 2 cards seems like a good idea. The initial hand here doesn't really push me in a good direction to play, so I decide to use my Death Tarot card on my wild card 10, giving me more potential in the future to get my flushes and straight flushes. I think about playing this hand with diamonds for a little bit, but I then realized that I have more diamonds left in my deck, so I'm better off playing the clubs here and just hoping that I get more of my diamond cards. I get a royal flush in hearts in hand here, but because of this boss blind, I cannot play a different hand than I did before, which was a flush. So I have to play this flush in hearts, which gives me enough points to win the round. There's no good jokers in the shop, so I decide to go for a standard pack and I buy a lucky 2 of diamonds, which gives you a small chance to add a multiplier or some extra cash when played. I also use a tarot card to turn more of my cards into diamonds so that I have a very high chance now of getting a flush or a straight flush. The upcoming boss blind debuffs all diamond cards. A little scary when about a third of my deck are now diamond cards. I'm at the point in the run now where I've leveled up the flush so much that this royal flush is nothing compared to the flush that I can play. This doesn't even get me halfway to the score I need. You can see here in the run info what my multiplier and amount of chips look like. The next shop gives me a joker that I could sell if I want to disable the boss blind. Now that could come in handy for the diamond run that is coming up, the diamond boss, but this is not a great joker for the long term, since you have to sell it and so it's a one-time use only. The next planet pack does not give me a flush card, but it does give me a straight flush card. Perhaps if I can level that up, that can hop over the score of the flush, just in case I cannot play a regular flush. I have the option to pick another planet card, and I pick the 2 pair just in case, because that is the one that has the most synergy with the square joker, since 2 pair is a 4 card hand. I also buy a standard pack, but the options there are not amazing. I picked the steel card for some extra multiplier, but it's not the card I was looking for. The big blind has the option for a negative joker to appear in the next chop, but since at this point I don't really know what a negative joker is, I don't pick it and just play the blind for some extra cash. On this blind, I burn through a lot of my discards because there is not really a good flush or any option for a good flush that is getting presented to me. We can start to see at this point that the current build is not going very strong for the future. It takes 3 hands here to complete the blind, and we are only on ante 5. The shop is also not that generous with us, so I buy 2 more planet cards for the straight flush in the hopes of getting that up enough that I can consistently play it in the later antes. This is also the time to use my Luchador Joker to get rid of this pesky boss blind. I play some regular flushes to level up the square joker and then follow up with a straight flush. I was a little bit worried here that the 4 card straight flush would not get me enough points, so I played the extra 6 just for the 6 chips to throw in the mix. Because I have an open joker slot from selling the luchador joker, I can buy the abstract joker for a nice 15 plus mult. I get another flush planet card in case I don't get a straight flush. This way I can keep upping the score and make sure that I have a hand to play in the later antes. I also get a standard pack, but there aren't really any good choices here, so I skip this pack. Hands like this are still a little bit difficult for me to decide what to discard, since there's obviously flushes in there, but not a straight flush. It's just 1 card away. So I mulligan just 1 queen. I could have probably got rid of a second one. I know that this king, queen and 10 of diamonds give me a nice score, so I decide to throw in the lucky 2 of diamonds in the hopes of getting an extra multiplier or perhaps some extra cash. However, that one does not hit. This is where I get another very nice joker. This is the smear joker that makes all the red cards count as 1 suit and all the black cards count as 1 suit, giving me the option to score very well on the flushes and straight flushes without having to fish very deep in my deck. I decide to get rid of one of the common flush jokers since it's not very scalable towards the future. I also get rid of the abstract joker in favor of the banana joker, because that can give me a nice 3 times multiplier with a very small chance to be destroyed. I also get a standard pack, and because I have the smeared joker, I decide to buy another red card, a king, to score highly in flushes. To better distinguish between the different suits, I have the contrast mode on in the settings. However, you can turn that off to make it clearer that some cards are red and the other cards are black, to make it clearer for the smeared joker what cards fit together. This is what got me a little bit distracted sometimes and cost me some time to figure out which suits fit together because I had these 4 different colors on. Because I don't have a lot of scalable jokers, this boss is quite hard for me. All base chips and mults are halved, which causes me to play 4 hands in order to get this round done. Because I skipped the previous blind, the big blind, I get $15 extra cash that I can now spend in the shop. However, the shop is not that impressive when it comes to jokers. None of these are very useful to scale my build. I get a standard pack and get another wild card to use for my straight flushes, and I also get a Arcana pack that can give me a tarot to create more diamonds. I try one reroll in the shop, but the options presented to me are not that spectacular. So I decide to just go on to the next round. With just a straight flush and a flush, I can get enough chips to end this blind. The jokers in the shop are not that amazing. I'm having a look here at the upcoming boss blind, which decreases the level of every played poker hand, which means that if I play a flush, that the level of my flush that I have leveled up with planet cards is decreased by 1. So I think it is time to buy a voucher here to get the option to re-roll that boss blind for something that is hopefully more manageable, especially since my build is just barely hanging on. I also buy another diamond card, because I want my deck to be as consistent as possible. However, it has 61 cards right now, which is pretty fat, and I think that's what eventually cost me this run. As you can see, the banana joker is really doing a lot of work. Again, no great jokers in the shop, so let's level up the flush planet again. Let's also get some extra money from a tarot. Time to re-roll this boss blind and hope for something good. 0 discards here are definitely not the worst. got it in 3 hands. Definitely not bad. I get rid of my joker here, that gives me extra mult when I play a flush. In hindsight, this was maybe not a good idea, since I have plenty of chips whenever I score, but my multiplier has now dropped by 10. I also get a spectral pack that allows me to put a blue seal on a card, which gives me a planet whenever that card is held in hand. At this point in the run, I also have to make a decision if I want to go all in on those straight flushes or just keep playing regular flushes. It doesn't give me a whole lot of difference right now in chips and mults, but I decide to go for the straight flushes because that is more scalable in the long run. Seeing the boss blind here for ante 8 also gave me the shivers, because what if this disabled the card that allowed me to play straights and flushes with just 4 cards? Or what about my straight joker? Or the banana? At this point in the run, I realized that I made a grave mistake by getting rid of that multiplier joker in favor of the odd Todd joker. That is really not doing anything for me right now. Seeing that score of the first hand even made me turn to gambling with the magician here in the hopes of getting a lucky card with a lucky multiplier. And what do you know? The lucky card goes off. 1 in 5. Big money on the table. I got lucky once, let's try it again. Come on, give me the cash. Computer says no. Well, if we get it, let's just keep on gambling and hope we get lucky. Two for three. I'm the best. This is where I make my fatal mistake of not re-rolling this boss. That one joker that is disabled every hand is going to be lethal. Uh-oh, even with one of the best flushes I could play, only 7,700 chips. Ugh, things are not looking great. I don't know what I was thinking here, getting rid of the steel ace. In later runs I will learn more about what those steel cards can do, but at this point I'm a total noob. The banana joker and the square joker are the best jokers for this hand. The other three would not have even mattered. Instead, I get a bit of bad luck and of course some bad plays earlier on. If a regular flush doesn't get me there, let's try a straight flush. I am doomed. I spent about 2 minutes staring at this hand, looking for something to do, but when it's not there, it's just not there. Last hand, but it is obviously not happening. I am 30,000 chips short, and every hand that I've played has only given me about 20,000 or a little bit over. I think this is the end of the run. I stay on the lookout if there's maybe a regular straight in there, but I've not leveled up the straight quite enough to make the dent that I need it to be. But just to show off, here's another plus 20 mult on the lucky card. That's 3 times this run in a 1 out of 5 chance. To end the episode, here's a few of the goodies that I unlocked. Plus also the obligatory touching all of the new cards with the exclamation mark in the collection.